Well, if you're wondering where we disappeared to, well, quite frankly, our channel got hacked and hijacked. And after a week of working with YouTube, we're back. So if you're interested in knowing the details and maybe what not to do, how to protect yourself, what you can do in the future, stick around, we'll get into that. If you're just here for the short version, well, in a nutshell, about a week ago, Voyager Overland was hijacked. And I lost all access to the channel. And that's why, if you were expecting a video last Saturday and it didn't appear, well, it was loaded and ready to go, but I had no control over it. So if you did access the channel in that brief period where I had no control of it, please disregard any random videos that were clearly not for us. I did see something that there was something about some Trump-related cryptocurrency or something like that. Of course, I had no access to it. All I saw was the thumbnail. Disregard anything like that. If you got any communication from what was supposed to be Voyager Overland at that point, please let me know in the comments if you saw anything unusual, and we do apologize for any inconvenience. Trust me, we had no control of the channel, and we sure are glad to have everything back. So I have a lot of people to thank for getting us back on track, but we did recover the channel and we're back on schedule. So you will have noticed that the video I had scheduled for last Saturday actually released last night, and many of you saw it already, and that's great, and I really appreciate it. And we're back on a regular schedule, so that means that not this weekend but the next video is set to release. Actually working on it right now, so we'll see you then. So if you're curious about what happened, bear with me and I'll try to tell the story, and it is a bit of a long one, unfortunately. So a week ago Thursday, I was looking at some partnership opportunity that became available. So like I've done in the past, I did what I normally do and kind of vetted the source, if you will. So I got an email from an online education platform, we'll say, that said that, hey, we like what you're doing on your channel and we'd like to partner up on some opportunities. And I've looked at these before. Now, a little bit of background information. I saw recently the CEO of YouTube talk about the creator economy, and it blew my mind to realize that it is a $50 billion a year industry. So it got me thinking. I've had quite a few offers lately from companies that want to partner up with our channel, and you saw the first of those videos with the booster pack from Grepro, and that was a pretty good opportunity. And I thought, well, maybe that's the future, we're moving in that direction. So I've seen these offers before, and I've turned down quite a few because they're just not a good fit. Most of them are pretty straightforward and simple, some a little bit more complex, where they send you some information with all the details, some contracts. It's an opportunity to review before you agree to anything. So for example, not long ago, I looked at one for a tripod manufacturer, and we use those all the time, so I thought, hey, that's a pretty good fit. So downloaded the information, had a look, what they emailed, and decided the requirements were not a good fit for what we do. So I turned that one down. And there was a few others. There was one for some off-road e-bikes, which would have been awesome for us to use, but with the limited space that we have, it's just not a good fit. So we turned that one down as well, and there was a couple more as well that were just simply not a good fit. But here's this educational opportunity, and I've been doing some DIY kind of stuff on the channel, so I thought, hey, this is a pretty good fit. Let's look into that and see what's what. So they send me or email me some more information, and there is a file attached with some contracts, some more information for me to look at. I click on it and download it, and it didn't open. So while I gave it a minute, I went to get a drink of water, and I walked by my phone, and my phone is restarting, like it did an upgrade or something like that. And as it's firing up, I have a quick look, and this is really odd. It strikes me as very odd. It looks like it is a factory restart, if you will, like when I first set up the phone when it was brand new. So I didn't like that. Go back to my computer to check on this download, and it's still not downloading. And I noticed that the system has logged me out of my account. Tried to log back in, and I find out that they've changed my password. Full panic is an understatement. And I tried everything I could to get back in, tried account recovery, all the necessary steps, and everything's been changed. Now, I thought I was being fairly cautious in protecting my account. And as I look back, I think I was. I have two-step verification, I have a recovery email The only thing I didn't have was passkey. And I also have an additional layer, if you will, that my contact email is not the one tied to my account. So what I have been doing is that once I vetted the email and I was fairly confident, then I would communicate with the email tied to the channel. I think at the other end, it provides credibility. Shouldn't have done that. And I had verified the organization before I opened the email. I looked at their website, and it is a legit company, but unfortunately some hackers were using that as their cover, if you will. Everything checked out, and I did nothing different than I did in the past. This one just turned out that, well, they were good at what they did. So I spent the day trying to recover this Google account, and to no avail. I even found some numbers for Google support online that after contacting them, well, that ended up being a scam as well. My first clue being that they wanted me to pay a fee to recover my account. And when I said, well, no, I don't really want to do that, it was instantly, well, okay, thank you, goodbye, and they hung up. That was interesting. So after spending the day trying to recover my account, I came to the realization that everything I tried, and since account recovery tools were all assigned to somebody else, the phone number for two-step verification is now different. You can see the last 2 digits. Don't recognize it. I can tell that the recovery email has been changed as well. And I realize I'm in trouble. Shortly after that, I go to look to see if the YouTube channel is okay, and it's gone. I can't access it. So I wanted some different eyes to approach that. Maybe the problem is at my station, at my laptop, if you will. So I reach out to Jason at Overland, Alberta, who had a quick look at a video of mine that he had saved, and he came up with an error message that basically said the channel has been terminated. I was losing hope quickly at that point. I didn't realize how attached I had become to my channel. There is a lot of work involved for many years, actually. And what stood out the most is I realized I had lost my connection with you guys. So first thought was to reach out to all the subscribers, and many of you are regulars, and how do I give you a heads up? Hey, this has happened, and there's just no way to get the message out there. So it's not a good feeling. But Jason said, hey, I saw this video, this guy had a similar experience, and by the way, reach out to YouTube through X or Twitter, which I am not a user till now, and I did. Long story short, that is a complex, time-consuming process, and it took us 8 days to get back. And they walked me step by step through the process. First thing to do is to try the two-step verification for recovery. Well, that doesn't work. Next thing to do is to use the recovery email. That doesn't work. So they put me in contact with the YouTube Partnership Program support, and they got the ball rolling right away. So first thing they do is they send me a form to fill out with a whole bunch of questions regarding the channel, some information that I had, some information that I did not. For example, the channel ID. Well, I knew the handle for sure, but the ID, unfortunately, I never wrote it down anywhere. I sure have that now, I tell you. But information like the last video that I uploaded, what was the title, what was the file, location that I'm using the channel from, which devices, account information that I have, all kinds of information like that. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, at this point, as I feel like I'm going down a rabbit hole, and I'm thinking, how do I know, after this experience with hackers, how do I know I'm actually dealing with the right people? So there's always in the back of my mind, be careful, and at a few points, I'm thinking, here I go, I'm getting taken for a ride again. But the information was all information that really was clearly to identify the channel and not me personally or my financial information. So I went ahead and followed. It was a series of back and forth, confirming, sending screenshots, computer information, account information. And what they were doing is making sure that I was the owner of the channel. Once that was established, we started exchanging emails and sending codes so that I could verify that I was who I was. So we finally, and there's a few steps in between that I forget, I'm sure, but we finally got to a point where they wanted to reset my password. So they send me some links, click on the links, get to this, get to that, and finally I get to reset my password, which it did. But as soon as I try to log in, I find out I have parental control on my account now. How do we undo that? So go back and forth, and we were able to get past that. Get that disabled, try to log in again, and find out that they had set up a passkey on my account. At this point, I didn't even have that. Now, first thing I'm thinking is, well, that was a big mistake. But in hindsight, once they got into the account, they changed everything. They created more protection than I had originally. So I don't think it would have made a difference. So bypass that, and YouTube support is asking for yet some more information, and rightfully so. So provide that information, and it was starting to become clear that at this point, if it didn't work, it would be a channel reset, and they indicated I'd be waiting 7 days for that process. So one last try, and basically they said, be patient, this might take a little while. So I'm thinking, okay, we'll deal with this tomorrow. Out of the blue, Jason texts me, says, congratulations, you got your channel back. Well, little part of me is doing the happy dance. The other part is, what? I know nothing about this. I go looking right away, and sure as can be, I can now get back into my channel. So mad panic, change all the protections, the recovery information, the two-step verification, reset all the passwords, and finally get back to Jason with a thank you, thank you, thank you. And I do want to thank you, Jason. Thank you for sending me on the right path, pointing me in the right direction that made all this possible. So in a nutshell, a week from hell, I quickly realized how important this channel is to me and all our viewers, and being able to continue to provide our videos. Many of you wondered where we went. So here I am, I have the channel back, I have now access to email, and I can see the chain of emails where this happened. And it happened quickly. It was in a matter of an hour. Notification after notification that someone had accessed the channel. First was the password change, then it was the two-step notification number is changed, the recovery email had been changed, passkey had been created. These folks knew what they were doing. And YouTube had identified the fact that somebody was trying to authorize the account without permission, but they acted so fast that that was the end of that. So the very first notification, security notification, indicated that this came out of Germany. And that's interesting all on its own. So here we are, the account is recovered, I'm back in. Oh, what a relief. But now I have a chance to deconstruct what had happened. So basically, I'm downloading from an email information for a contract offer, if you will. Now, I had done this in the past. I checked it out. The organization was valid. The email seemed legit. There was no flags whatsoever. And it happened so fast. So while I was distracted by my phone resetting, they wiped my phone clean. I lost all data, lost everything. And by the time I come back to my laptop, everything was done. So what do I do in the future to make sure this doesn't happen again? Well, honestly, I'm not sure that's possible. Think of it this way. If all the experts that develop all these security protections at YouTube, let's say, and we can assume that that's the best in the business. And by the way, I'm very pleased with security at YouTube. They often catch stuff, for example, in comments, way before I ever do. Inappropriate comments, for example, they know what they're doing. But suppose for a moment that we have people that are equally skilled, but are not interested in protecting people. They're more interested in scamming and taking advantage. Knowing how the system works and knowing how to steal a password, well, they're able to change everything. So I'm not sure that we can ever be fully protected. It's a new world. Get used to it. But I think what we can do is make it more difficult for them to do that. So I've turned on every security measure that YouTube offers. Quite simply, my channel is now locked up tighter than a bull's ass at fly time. But what I will be doing different is adding a layer of separation. So I have created what I'm going to call a sacrificial Google account. So that will be my communication and my contact account for Voyager Overland, the channel. And the account for the channel will stay standalone. It will not be used for anything else. Now, another thing that I did incorrectly is that, not for everything, but there's a few things that I was using a common password for. And I know that's bad practice. But as I look back at what happened, that wasn't an issue. Nowhere did they use my password to access other accounts or financials or anything like that. So that was a big risk, but I guess we got lucky. None of that was used. And you can bet, they're all different now. But what I do fear is that no matter what we do for protection, these people are good at what they do. They'll figure it out eventually. So I think the best that we can do is create that separation so that there's a step in between. So for example, if I use this account on a regular basis that has a level of separation, well, if they do get it, they can't access anything with it. And I think I need to continue doing that. And I think moving forward, that's one more step, one more level of separation. So my advice to anyone with a Google account, and especially YouTubers where that information is insanely valuable, protect yourself. Use all the tools available and have a level of separation. Separate your channel from your regular email and your regular account and cross your fingers. So as we move forward, looking forward to making more videos and growing the channel and expanding on what we do. So thanks for listening to my rant, and we'll see you soon.